Hey you guys, so today I thought we could just do kind of like a little chatty get ready with me. I've been having some not great days mentally, but I thought I would take a page out of Miss Jamie Page's book and just film, you know? A couple weeks ago she posted a video kind of just basically doing makeup as therapy, so to speak. So basically, I'm just not feeling 100%, and I'm going to just sit here and chit chat and do my job at least partway. So I'm gonna start with my eyes. I had seen this photo on Instagram. There we go. And I really liked the kind of like color combinations on the eye, and I wanted to kind of recreate that, but do it a little bit more wearable. And that look was done by Daria. Questionable. I'm gonna leave it down below. I'm gonna use the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm gonna start with that shade right there. And I'm gonna take it on a big Smith 232 brush. And I'm just going to blend that into my crease to start. So yeah, haven't been feeling the best. Last week I felt fine for the most part, and then I felt like towards the end of the week kind of thing, I just like was feeling sort of like bummed and like not super productive. And then on Friday, I just had such a bad day. I just was really super upset and super emotional. I don't know, man. I feel like it's so frustrating going backwards, basically. I'm gonna kind of dot back and forth between Venetian Red and Love Letter. I just feel so like frustrated, basically. I was tweeting the other day saying like that I just get to a point with like my depression where I feel like annoyed. Like I'm not even, it's like I'm like past like the sadness and like all that kind of stuff and like lack of motivation. I'm just like almost angry because I feel so frustrated that I can't just basically like move on with my life from this feeling. And I think the thing that like I struggle with the most is that I feel like I work really hard to like get myself back to a place where like I'm confident and like I'm feeling kind of happy and I'm feeling motivated, like I'm kind of on some sort of trajectory that's positive. That can take months, like literally just months of paying such close attention to everything that I'm doing, what makes me feel good, what makes me feel bad, and just like having to basically be so hyper aware and hyper focused on like working on myself. And it just feels like all that hard work can be so easily erased. And it's like I'm just having to start back from square one and like work all the way up again to not even be like at a place where I'm like, oh, I'm great now and like I don't have any bad feelings, but like just to be at like a place where I'm like, oh, okay, I don't like hate everything. And then I'm just gonna dot back and forth between Venetian Red and Cypress Umber. I think one thing in particular that I really struggle with is that I feel like it's really hard to not let what people say about me online warp my vision of myself. And again, it's just so frustrating, man, because like I just want to not give a shit and I want to like be able to so easily recognize that like, you know, these people don't know me and they don't, you know, like I don't have to interact with them ever in my real life. I'm not going to like run into them anytime soon probably. But it's just like sometimes people say certain things that I just can't like shake and like they just make me basically question everything. Like I'm like, am I this person that they think I am? Like are these traits that they feel like are so apparent to them actually like true to like me as a person? And I feel like I struggle with this idea that like I feel like I'm held to such a high standard that other people just essentially aren't held to. And like I don't mean to have any of this come across as like me complaining about my job, because God knows people love to hold that over my head. But just honestly, like it feels like I have to be so, oh God, I feel like I have to be so like hyper aware of what I'm doing, what I'm saying, how I'm coming across, how I look physically. It just feels like basically like I'm so public and so accessible. I'm gonna take a little bit of the color Venetian Red and Love Letter kind of mixed, and I'm going to just sort of put that on the inner corner and blend it into that crease. anyways, I just feel like I'm so accessible and so present, and like I'm expected to conduct myself in like such a like highly specific way in terms of like work life. So that, coupled with how hyper aware I have to be with taking care of myself, is just super tiring. I'm gonna take the Violet Voss Flamingo palette, and I'm gonna grab the color Beach Ball. So that's kind of what I've been feeling lately, and I'm having such a hard time moving past it. My relationship with like YouTube and like my work in general and stuff is so waffly. I feel like there's times where like I like emotionally and mentally benefit from doing this work and being able to like connect with people and feel like maybe I'm helping people in some way or whatever kind of thing, or like maybe positively influencing people in some way. And I feel like lately I've been like really like enjoying myself and enjoying the content that I'm putting out, and feeling proud of it and feeling like I kind of have like a little bit of a rhythm going and stuff like that. And so it's that much more disappointing to just feel like I'm slipping back into this mood and like I can't stop it. And I think it's particularly frustrating and like lonely feeling because like this job in general, I'm pretty sure every influencer probably feels this way at least at some point. This job is so isolating, which is just so hilarious because obviously like I'm interacting with so many people every single day, but like it's just, again, like you have kind of that burden and that expectation on you of like trying to be perceived in such a way. I'm just kind of jumping back to my Modern Renaissance palette with the same colors I was using before and just sort of dotting back and forth between all of them and adding a little bit more color. And I think that when I'm doing I'm doing well and then I feel like I'm doing not so well suddenly, I feel so like embarrassed because it is just, it's hard to get on camera and pretend like everything's fine when it's not, and it's hard to get on camera and be honest that things aren't going well or that I'm not feeling as good. I posted a few months ago, actually it's probably quite a while ago now at this point, but I posted at some point saying that like basically that my job isn't very fulfilling for me, and that comment at the time, like I didn't put like a whole lot of thought into it, but that comment is something that has just come back to me over and over and over again. That comment really kind of like sparked this like negative opinion of me for a lot of people, because a lot of people are like, oh, so like you're just doing this for the money and you don't actually like care about what you're producing, and like clearly like this whole relatability thing is just an act and all this shit. And like it's just like I get DMs about it, I get tweets about it and comments about it. I try really hard to communicate effectively and in a way that is less likely to be misconstrued. And so it's hard when I say something like that, which is like sometimes the truth, and like not necessarily all the times. Like there's times where like I feel really good about my work and like I really enjoy it and I feel like I'm connecting in a positive way. And there's times where it does just feel like a job. And like I think that it's so tricky, and I know that a lot of influencers feel this way. It's so tricky to feel like you have to tiptoe around the fact that like, of course this is a job. Of course there's days where like I'm not super into it, and I don't know many people that would go to work if they weren't being paid. I'm gonna take this shade Leo from the Kristen Leanne Urban Decay palette. I realize I'm using like 35,000 palettes. And I'm just going to put that over top to just kind of brighten that shadow up a little bit. I'm gonna take this pencil, it's from LA Girl, it's called Fresh. And I'm gonna put it in my inner waterline. Anyway, back to that comment. I feel like disappointed in myself sometimes when I get on here and like I just talk about what's really going on and like I say what I feel and stuff like that. And like at first, it's always like this influx of people that are like, wow, like I totally get it. And in that moment, it feels so good to have done that, because I wish I could stop setting myself up for disaster, truly. But like, there's just moments where if I if I don't just say what is going on, like I'm not coming back, basically. Like it's like I need so badly to get it off my chest that like that's my only option, it feels like. And when I have moments where like I feel like I do now, or like I did when I filmed that video where I was saying that my job wasn't fulfilling, when I film it and when I edit it and upload it and I get that first kind of round of comments and everyone's just like super positive and whatever, I feel so good about it. And I'm like, that was so worth it. And like, I'm so glad. And like, it kind of just gives me the opportunity to just like shrug it off my shoulders and be like, cool, like that's done and dealt with. And it's so like helpful to feel like I'm being taken the way that I'm meaning for myself to be taken, and I'm not being misconstrued and having things kind of blown out of proportion or taken out of context. I'm going to take this brush from Hakuhodo. It's called B5520. And I'm just going to kind of smudge that. I mean, it might be a little dry now because I kind of have been fucking around here. Oh yeah, that's not doing much. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm going to go back to my beach ball color and go over top of this. After that first round of comments, obviously there comes the people that, you know, have negative opinions about what I had to say, or, you know, they're kind of running with what I'm saying and turning it into something very different. And then in those moments where there's people kind of taking what I'm saying and really not like impressed by it, when that happens, like I feel like it's so easy for that to just make me kind of like spiral downwards, because again, like I go back to feeling so alone, like I have no community, like I have no ability to like connect with people, because what I say and what I do has such greater consequences, it feels like, than the average person, so to speak. And again, I'm not saying that people don't have like harder lives than me and whatever, because I know there's gonna be that person that has something to say about it in the comments. I'm gonna jump back to my little Smith 230 brush, and it has kind of that nice bruisey color on it, and I'm just going to sweep it underneath that teal color. And like, I'm not naive into thinking that like I'll ever please everyone, or that people can't have their opinion, or that there isn't like negative consequences to like talking freely online. That reality and that like acknowledgement of that fact doesn't make it any less hurtful. And so it's basically just this like constant like feeling of this ebb and flow of being like, okay, you know, I need to get to like a better place. I need to start feeling better. So I really start like focusing on what I'm doing and how I'm treating myself and how I'm taking care of myself and all that kind of stuff. And then working on my perception of my own self. And it's sort of like I get to a point where I'm like, cool, like I feel really good about this. I feel like I'm working really hard and I'm kind of feeling stable, and like I'm putting good habits into motion and stuff like that. And it always feels like I'm like almost getting cocky. Like I'm almost like, fuck depression, I don't have that shit. And I'll be thinking to myself like, maybe I can go off medication. Maybe I can, you know, chill out on going to therapy a little less and all that kind of stuff. And it's like literally the next day, like right after I start thinking that way, the next day there's like something that just like fucking like sends me to the back of the line. It basically feels like I'm trying to hold onto water with my bare hands, and it's obviously slipping through my fingers, and I'm like, but why? And everyone else is holding their water in pails, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Anyways, I'll go back and forth through that cycle, and it just gets to a point where I'm like, wow, this is fucking useless. And starting again, like starting to like work on yourself again, just feels so much more daunting, because you're at such a low point. When you get fired from a job, or when you quit a job or whatever, and you have to go out searching for your new job, it's like the worst feeling, because you are just like embarrassed and you feel inadequate, and like, why would anyone want to hire you and stuff like that. Like that is the feeling of trying to get back on top of like managing depression. Got a lot of metaphors going on in this. The person had red on the inner corner, but I don't know how confident I am about that. Instead, I'm going to take the color Brixton from the not Kathleen Lights, Kristen Leanne palette, and I'm just going to put that on the inner corner. It kind of has like a really, oh no it doesn't. I thought it had a little pink shift to it, but it kind of seems like it's going on more blue than anything. Okay, well maybe what I'll do is take a little bit of that color Spitfire, and I'll just kind of put it on the very, very inner corner. I'm going to take this NYX color mascara in the color Mint Julep, and I'm going to put it on my bottom lashes. Oh, that is a moist mascara. Anyways, so that's my little depression update. Did it happen to align with my therapist taking a week off? Yes. And is it a coincidence? I don't see any connection. It's a delicate inner balance going on over here, I'll say that. Oh my god, this is so weird having my bottom lashes be so light, because it's like, it looks like there's like little teal birds sitting on my eyes. I'm gonna curl and mascara my top lashes and pop on some fake lashes, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna take my little Laura Mercier concealer and going to just dot it over my acne. I'm gonna use my little super sponge thing. I really have been liking this guy for spot concealing specifically, because I feel like it doesn't like soak up any product, so it basically keeps all of that product right where I want it. And it's just kind of nice on days where like I don't feel like sitting there and like slowly like spot concealing properly, so to speak. So I've been really liking it for that. Oh yeah, and I washed it. So weird. Well, obviously it's not washed now, but I washed it with that little scrubby pad it comes with. So weird. It cleaned really, really well. I was kind of surprised. Like I thought that it was gonna not clean like that well for some reason, I don't know why, but it cleaned like super well, and it was like really satisfying. Okay, for my foundation, I've been mixing two like old favorites. So I've been mixing the Joe Fresh Daily Boost Fluid Foundation, and then I've been mixing it with the, so sweet, so precious, the Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude Cushion Stick. This was my favorite foundation, dude, for like months and months and months. I loved it so much, and they discontinued it, of course. And I'm gonna mix that with a little pump of my Vichy Mineral 89 serum. Anyway, so that's my little mental health update. I'm hoping that I'm just having kind of like an off week or 2 weeks, but other than that, what's going on? I went to a cooking class last night with Matt. My parents bought me a cooking class for my birthday at this place downtown, and it was so great. It was like such a good night. It was all like vegan cooking, and it was really like, it was super inspiring because I felt like it helped me to like think of like different things to cook. And like it feels so creative and like cool, because I think sometimes like the idea of cooking vegan can feel sort of restrictive, especially like I feel like because I'm just starting. So I've been eating vegetarian for, well, since December 6th. And then I started eating completely vegan in and out of the house since March 4th. So it's been just over 3 weeks. And when I had kind of transitioned to be vegetarian, I was still obviously eating vegan at home for the most part, trying to think of like things to cook that isn't just like roasted veggies all the time can just be like sort of daunting, because I still obviously have like such a specific like concept of what dinner looks like and stuff like that from growing up eating like a meat forward diet. I'm gonna take my little Saint Tropez bronzer, but anyways, that's been kind of nice to be going through this whole sort of transition, because it's just been basically distracting, because I've been spending a ton of my time like just researching like nutrition and, you know, people that went vegan and what they did wrong, and people that stopped being vegan and why, and like all this stuff. Like I've been watching every like vegan related video on YouTube and just like finding new recipes and all this kind of stuff. So it's been kind of nice having something like new that I'm researching to immerse myself in. Not that it's really like a super new topic to me, but it's been like all consuming lately. So I'm gonna grab my Kierweiss, that's how it's pronounced, it says it on their Instagram. I'm gonna grab their cream blush in Desired Glow, and I'm going to put that on my cheeks for my desired glow. I've used 3 sponges in this video. I have been loving this blush so much. It's so dewy and like fresh, because I feel like my skin's been like particularly dry. I think because whenever the weather starts to change, my skin is like, why is this happening? And so it's been like very, very dry. And this is like so nice, because a lot of the times, even if I'm wearing a dewy foundation and mixing it with that serum and stuff, I still feel like I end up looking kind of matte, even though I'm not like applying any powder or whatever. So I like that that has like a really nice sheen to it, because it just adds some little juiciness back to my cheeks. Then I'm going to take my Koza highlighter. This is in the shade, oh yeah, Tropic Equinox. How could I forget? I'm going to put on MAC Blankety lipstick, and I'm just going to mix it with a little bit of Saint Germain, just to kind of bring in sort of that kind of like coolness from the eye. So that is everything for me today, you guys. Thanks for hanging out while I kind of chat, vent. Sorry if this video was a little bit of a bummer for you. I will be back to regularly unscheduled content soon. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Peace out.